Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'll be showing you how I recreated this dress. As you can see, the inspiration on the left part of the screen and the outcome of this tutorial on the right part of the screen. And this dress does not have any joining at the waist. It does not have any half length or half cut. So I'll be showing you how I made this dress from start to finish. So if this is what you're interested in, you want to stay till the end. So I have these 6 yards of Ankara fabric with me, though I'll be making use of just 2.5 yards. So let's open it up and place it on fold. So I'm gonna place it on fold. I used the largest measurement of my body, which is my hip measurement, divided by 4 plus allowance to place it on fold. So I'm going to mark the full length of my dress. So the full length of my dress, I want it to be about 48, but the full length of this Ankara, the actual length of this Ankara is 45 or 44 inches, and it is not long enough, and I don't want it to have any joining. So that's why I'm turning it this way. Can you see the way I turned it? So I'm going to turn it this way and fold it like this. Can you see the way I folded it? Because I don't want it to have any joining on the waist. So I'm gonna need to mark 50 inches, that's 48 inches plus 2 inches for allowance, as the full length of this dress. So that is it. I've marked the line. So that upper part is going to be the shoulder line and the starting point. So let's start drafting our dress. So firstly, I'm going to come down from the shoulder by 10 inches, that is my bust point, and I came down by 16.5 inches, which is my half length or my waist point. And then after that waist line, I came down by 9 inches for the hip line. So I'm going to mark it on the other side as well. I marked my bust point, my waist point or my waistline, and then I came down by 9 inches from the waist for the hip line. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw a straight line across. So that's the hip line, this is the waistline, and then this is the bust line. So the next thing I want to do is to mark my shoulder measurement, which is my shoulder measurement divided by 2. For me it's 8 inches, and then on that point I came down by 1 inch. So after that 1 inch, I marked 8 inches for my armhole depth. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect in a straight line. So I'm just going to draw the line across like so again. So remember, there is a slit at the front. The slit is at the front, so, and they will be joining at the front. So this is me. I want to add the slit allowance, or let me say the joining allowance. So I'm adding 1.5 inch as extra allowance for the slit or for the joining. So this is me adding extra 1.5 inches at the middle part of our front pattern. So I'm just going to add it all the way to the hem, and then I'm going to connect the whole point in a straight line. So this is me using my ruler to draw a straight line. So I'm gonna need to draw the straight line up to the hem. So remember, that 1.5 inch allowance is for the joining allowance and for the slit at the front. So the next thing I want to do now is to draw the neckline. On the neckline, I'm going in for the neck width by 3 inches, and then I came down by 7 inches. So this depth depends on how deep you want your V neckline to be. So this is a V neckline, so I'm making use of 7 inches for the neck depth. So I'm connecting it in a V shape, and this is me connecting the shoulder slope as well. So the next thing I want to do is to mark the midpoint of your armhole depth, and then on that point you go in by half an inch. And then on the chest line, I'm marking my bust measurement divided by 4, and then I'm just going to use my French curve to draw the armhole curve. So if you don't have a French curve, you can make use of your free hands to draw your armhole curve, but I just like using the French curve. So on the chest line, I'm just going to add 1.5 inch for the stitching allowance. On the waistline, I'm marking my waist measurement divided by 4, and then I added 1 inch for that allowance and 1.5 inch for stitching allowance. On the hip line, I marked my hip measurement divided by 4 and 1.5 inch for the stitching allowance. Remember, all your measurements is starting after that 1.5 inch allowance for the slit. So from the waistline, I came down by about 15 inches. So on that 15 inches point, I'm going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4. So this is what I normally do to give the lap area fitting, to make it pencil, because this is a pencil gown. I'm not going to add 1.5-inch stitching allowance, so I'm just going to leave it that way. This is me subtracting 1.5-inch from it. So I'm just going to mark my hip measurement divided by 4 all the way from that 15 inches I came down by from the waist all the way to the hem. So I'm just going to use my hip measurement divided by 4. I'm not adding any extra 1.5-inch sewing allowance. So some people can decide to add half-inch sewing allowance or 1 inch, depending on how tight you want it to be. But I want it to have a bit of a curvy shape. That's why I'm doing it that way. So this is me connecting the whole point to form my body shape, as you can see. All this can also be done with your free hands, in case you don't have all this ruler and curved rule. So don't worry if you don't have it. You can use your free hands. Just make sure you are careful when drawing it, so you have a nice and perfect shape. So I decided to add half-inch to the neck depth. So instead of using 7 inches, I'm using 7.5 inches. So like I said, this neck depth depends on how deep you want your neckline to be. I don't want mine to be too deep, so I'm stopping at 7.5 inches. So this is similar to the back, because we already have an allowance for the slit at the front. So that allowance is, we can use it as the allowance for the back zipper, because there'll be zipper at the back. So we won't be adding any allowance for the back. And for the back neckline, I'll just make use of the same neckline as well. You can go ahead and make it a round neck at the back, anyhow you want it, but I'm making use of the same neckline for the back, and we already have an allowance that can serve as a zipper allowance for the back as well. So the only alteration we'll be doing now is for the zipper bulge. So I'm going to show you how you do it. So on the waistline, you go in by 0.75 inch on the waistline from the zipper allowance, and then you slant it upwards this way and then downwards this way. So that's how we eliminate the zipper bulge. So that's all for the back. So I'm just showing you how to alter this pattern for the back. So that's how it's going to be. So I'm just cutting it out now. This is the front, and I've just shown you the only difference at the back. Every other thing is the same. The only difference at the back is eliminating the zipper bulge. So this is it. I'm gonna cut out the back. As you can see, I've cut out that zipper bulge area for the back. So this is the back. As you can see, the zipper bulge that I cut out, can you see it? So, and this is the front. And apart from the zipper bulge difference, the other difference is on the armhole. The front armhole is deeper than the back armhole, with just about 0.25 inch. As you can you see the back armhole came out slightly at the middle part, as you can see. And I'm also gonna need to cut out the lining pieces for both the front and the back pieces. And again, when cutting the lining, I made it 1.5 inch shorter on the hem. Can you see it? I made it 1.5 inch shorter. So let's start with the front pattern. We open it up this way. I went ahead to cut it into 2 because they'll be joining a slit at the front. So you open it up and place your lining on the right side this way. So you bring your lining to the hem, make sure it's equal on the hem, and then you stitch it the way I demonstrated. So I'll do that for the second one as well. Bring it down to the hem. Do not worry that it's not equal yet, just do exactly what I'm showing you. So this is what it looks like after stitching. So you fold it up with that 1.5 inch. So you go ahead and measure it, as you can see. So you fold it up, then you stitch it this way, the way I'm demonstrating. That is the middle part. You stitch it, and then the other side as well, you stitch it with about 0.25 inch all the way to the upper part, and then you stitch the neckline as well, just like I'm demonstrating. So we're going to cut out the excess lining if you have any excess. So you leave the armhole, because that's where we're going to turn it to the right side. So we're going to do the same thing for the second one as well. You fold it up with your 1.5 inch, and then you stitch both sides. This is the side, you stitch it, you stitch the other side as well, which is the middle, stitch it, stitch your neckline as well. So I'm going to head over to the machine now and do that. So this is it after turning it, after stitching and turning it to the right side. I turned it to the right side through the armhole, and I went ahead to give it a good press. So the next thing I want to do is to stitch my dart. So let me show you how to go about your dart. So you locate your waistline. So from the shoulder I came down by 16.5 inches, which is my waistline. So I marked my allowance, that joining allowance, I marked it. So after that joining allowance, I marked my nipple to nipple divided by 2. For me it is 4 inches. So from the waist I came down by 12 inches, and then on that point also I marked the joining allowance. So after that joining allowance, I marked my nipple to nipple divided by 2 again, which is 4 for me. So after the waistline I came down by 5 inches, and then this is me marking out the allowance and marking my 4 inches after the allowance. So on the waistline I went in and out by half an inch. So this is me connecting it in a slant manner, as you can see. So this is how you are going to go about your dart. Can you see? So can you see the way I folded it? So this is how we are going to stitch your dart, just like I'm demonstrating. So that's how we're going to do the other part as well. So this is it after stitching the dart. Can you see the way I stitched it? So let us pick the back pieces, and everything we did for the front, we're going to repeat the same thing for the back, starting from how we joined the lining, how we turned it to the right side, how we stitched the dart, everything. We're going to repeat it for the both back pieces. And this is what it looks like. This is the back. I've turned it out to the right side. So while still working on the front, we want to place the front together this way, right side facing right side. So you make sure it is equal. So we want to join it and also form the slit. So you mark your allowance. So I'm making use of 1.25 inch. So I'm going to mark it. But before we do that, I want to mark where my slit will start from. Yeah, so starting from the shoulder, coming down by 35 inches. So this depends on how high you want your slit to be, but I'm stopping at 35 inches. Is it 35 or 36? I think 36 inches is where I stopped. So that's where my slit is going to stop. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark the 1.25 stitching allowance that I mentioned earlier. So this is me marking it all the way back to the neckline, as you can see. So I'm going to stitch it all the way to that point. So this is what it looks like. Can you see where I stitched it? Can you see where the stitch stopped and where the slit started from? So we're going to iron it flat, and I'll use hemming gum to secure that slit side so it can be smooth and there will be no obstruction. Your slit will be perfect. So this is it. Now let's move to the joining. So we're going to place the front and back together, right side facing right side. So we want to go ahead and join the shoulder. You open up the shoulder this way. Can you see the way I'm opening it up? And then you fold it like this. After folding it like that, you go ahead and stitch it. So this is how you do the second one as well. You open it up this way and fold it this way. Make sure it is well aligned, and then you stitch on it. So after doing that, you want to go ahead and join the side as well with your sewing allowance. So I'm going to do that, and this is what it looks like after joining the shoulder and the side. So this is the back, as you can see the opening, and this is the front. So the next thing I want to do now is to work on the sleeve. So for the length of my sleeve, I want it to be 7 inches. So I'm adding 2 inches allowance. So this is me marking 9 inches. So I'm gonna to draw a straight line across. So from the upper part of the sleeve, I came down by 3.25 inches for the cap's height, and then on that point I marked my armhole depth measurement, which is 8 inches, and then I added 1.5 inch allowance. So for my arm circumference, I'm marking my arm circumference divided by 2 on this part, and then I added 1 inch for allowance. So I'm just going to connect with a slant line on this point like so, and then the next thing I want to do is to connect the armhole to the hem of our sleeve this way, and then the next thing I want to do is to mark the midpoint of the slant line. So I'm marking the full length and then I'm marking the middle. So I'm just going to use my free hands to draw the sleeve curve this way. So that's basically all for the drafting of our short sleeve. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out now. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out the second sleeve as well. So this is the sleeve. As you can see, I've gone ahead to cut out both sleeves. So now let's work on joining the sleeve to our dress. So this is it. I'm gonna need to stitch the hem with 1 inch, and then I'm gonna need to stitch the side. I joined the sides together, and this is what it looks like. So I've done that for both sleeves. So we are going to join into our dress now. So open up the armhole area of your dress, open up the shoulder. So we're going to place it right side facing right side, placing both shoulders together. Can you see the mid part of your sleeve to the shoulder, and then we're going to stitch it round till you get to the armhole, and then you stitch the other side round till you get to the armhole as well. So you stitch it and you close it up. That's how you join your sleeve. So we'll do that for both sleeves. So this is what our dress looks like after stitching both sleeves. As you can see, our dress is coming together. So let's work on the back of our dress. Let's close it up. So you place the back together this way, right side facing right side, and then we want to mark where our zip will stop. So from the waist, I'm coming down by 11 inches. I came down, you can either come down by 11 or 10 inches. So I came down by 11 inches since our zipper is long enough. So from that point, I'm marking my allowance. So I'm going to stitch it all the way to the hem because there's no slit at the back. So this is what it looks like, and I'm gonna to stitch the zipper and start the zipper. As you can see, everything is looking neat. So this is what it looks like I told you, I'm going to use hemming gum to secure this place so it can be perfect. And don't forget to give your dress a very good press after all the joining. So the next thing I want to do is to stitch the cover buttons. So this is it. This cover button, I think this is size 44. So I have 25 of the cover buttons. So I'm going to stop where the slit is starting from the v-neck line down to where your slit is starting. So we're going to make use of needle and thread to stitch the cover button. So this is what our dress looks like after stitching the cover button. As you can see, please do well to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. So thank you so much for watching to the end, guys. See you all in my next one. Bye.